You can live your dream life with 3 simple changes in the next 12 months or less if you follow what I'm going to walk through in this video. Okay. There was that one point in my life when I was unclear, unmotivated, not excited about the life vision that I had, not any clear steps that I was confident in. And then after going through this process, I've done 3 major times over the last 15 years that catapulted me to the next level. Every single time it led into more joy, more momentum, more clarity, more excitement, more decisiveness in my life and business. And I want the same for you. One other thing I'm going to be doing on this YouTube video that we're going to be doing a lot more here in my Entrepreneur Freedom Formula podcast and on the video channel is we're going to bring AI into the mix. And so for my coaching clients, I actually created a Purpose OS custom GPT model that's built off of this entire process I'm going to walk you through. It's built off of my life vision story, several others, and you can use it to create your own life vision story using what I'm going to walk you through today in your voice in 30 minutes or less. So if you want that, hold on till the end, and you're going to be able to learn how you can get access to that life vision story creator. This is a custom GPT model. You're going to click it, go get access to it, use it today, and have a life vision story you're insanely pumped about. Hey, y'all, welcome back to the podcast. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. And this topic is actually really near and dear to my heart because I first did what I'm about to walk you through in this exercise about 15 years ago. Actually, more than 15 years ago. It would have been 17 years ago. I went to an event out in Orlando, Florida, that I learned one thing that changed my life for the next 17 years. And I hope this changes your life for the next 17 years, 30 years, 40 years, and you can use this wisdom, pass it along to others as well. Okay. A couple key things with this. Now, I am going to do some things in here that will help you grow your income if you want to, but you're going to be able to achieve this over the next 12 months without earning an extra dollar, potentially, even if it wasn't required. It's a mindset shift. It's an adjustment. We're going to completely flip on its head the way that you think about how you manage your time, the way that you think about how you set goals, the way that you think about setting a vision. All right. So the first concept here that I'm going to be talking about is something I call the life vision story. So there's 3 things that I did back in 2008, 2009 that led my first major transformation that year. And then I had another one around 2012 or 13. And then I had another one around 2018. And I would say I had another one about a year ago again. And you tend to hit these phases in life where you've grown through that phase, whether it's a revenue phase in business or just a growth phase for you as a person, that you're ready for something new, that you might be discontent, that you might be having some energy drained from you from the work that you're doing, or you run out of runway on your vision. And that's what happened to me at every single one of those spots. I ran out of runway on my personal vision. And until I refreshed it using this process called the life vision story, things were hard. And this can change for you in a big way. So what is the life vision story? Well, the first thing is we have to recognize that to get out of a tough situation, if you're in a spot where you can't think about vision, where you're not excited about the future, if you're at a spot where you're frustrated, you're stepping into your vices to escape, escape and numb yourself from your current life or your current business. If you're at that spot, the one thing that's holding you back is, number one, you've got to eliminate that vice ruthlessly. I've got a video and a training coming out here pretty soon on how to eliminate your vices. So keep an eye out for that here in the Entrepreneur Freedom Formula podcast and YouTube channel. The next thing, once you eliminate the vices, you go, great, I've got this time back. I've got the energy back. I've got my mental capacity back. What do I do next? Well, the very next thing is you design. Okay, you design, you go, what is it that I want? Now that I'm back mentally, now that I'm not being robbed by this device, now that I'm not being sucked down this path of losing confidence in myself every single time I step into that vice, I'm ready to dream again. Okay, so we want to create that design. And I like to create the design in all 6 parts of the life, the 6 buckets. So 6 buckets for me in life are 6 F's. It's faith, family, friends, fitness, finances, and fun. Okay, that's faith, family, friends, fitness, finances, and fun. Those are the 6 F's. Now, our life is comprised pretty much of those buckets. We can pretty much put most of everything in our life in those buckets. And at any given time, you might be doing really, really well in one of those things, doing really not so good in one of those things. And there might be several that are kind of in the middle. And what we want to do is we want to think through every one of those 6 buckets. What does an amazing life look like? What does a 5 out of 5 version of that look like? Okay. And I like to do it in a format that I call the ideal average day. Now, this was back in 2008 when I went to that event in Orlando, Florida, the first event I'd ever been to. And I watched a presentation from a guy named Frank Kern. And this presentation ended up being a pretty famous presentation that he put out called the Core Influence Presentation. Now, this guy's a marketer, and this presentation had nothing to do with marketing and everything to do with identity. And I sat there in the front row as he walked through a major transformation that he made in his life. And it took under 12 months to go from those situations I told you before, frustrated, depressed, going into his vices, no vision, no excitement for the future. He went from that to living in his dream area, living in his dream house, his business growing in spades, an amazing marriage, fit again and happy again in 12 months. Okay. And so what's comprised of a life vision story, I'll walk you through here in this video. The first thing that we have to ask is, why do we need one? So I'm going to dive into the iPad and show you how I think about vision, show you how vision connects through with everything. And so if you think of your life and your business in this capacity, there's your eyeball, right? That's what you're looking at. That's the lens that you look at the world with. And what a lot of us do is the lens that we look at the world with is primarily just one-sided. It just looks at the business. So we've got some business goals, we've got some business projects that we want to do. And oftentimes we're forgetting that the business is here to serve the life vision. What does the business exist for? A business exists for 3 things for me. The first one is to fund the vision. Okay. The business should fund your vision, meaning you should have a vision. You should be clear on what you want. You should be clear on what that 5 out of 5 version of those 6 F's looks like, what the ideal average day looks like. Number 2, you should have a business that interests you, that gives you energy in the work that you want to do. And then number 3, you should have work that you're proud of the impact that you're making with that business or with your job. Okay. So what we're really focusing on is combining all those 3 together and saying this business needs to fund this life and give me work I'm interested in, that I'm energized in, that I'm excited in. Give me work that allows me to make a major impact in the world, and give me work that also funds this vision I want to live. Okay, so even when we're looking all the way down into projects and your strategy, it should always be through the lens of the identity of the person that you need to become to live this vision. Then the business fulfills all that. Okay, so how do we create a better life? Well, the first thing is we have to recognize that, y'all, we're dying. I've done a video and a podcast on this not too long ago, that my dad, who's one of my best friends, my hero, he was the guy who was always physically the strongest in the room. Like he was the Superman. He passed away from brain cancer about 7 months ago. And through that battle with brain cancer with him, faith-wise and business, just so many things, just I wrestled with mortality, wrestled with the importance of, well, how important is this business? How important is this work? How important are all these commitments that I'm doing? And as I've been processing that through, you really start to recognize, number one, we don't have a finite amount of time to live the life that we are capable of living, to be able to step into the person, the identity that's already inside of us, waiting to come out, that's being held back by all these limiting beliefs. Okay, and into the vision. So if we all live an average of 40 years more, that's an average of about 14,000 days. Now, what is life? Life is made up of a bunch of individual days. We're stacking a bunch of individual days. Now, what happens is we end up letting these individual days blur together. We end up not making decisions to change what's happening in our lives, to make the day, to make the week, to make the month, to make the life better. We just go and we live and we stay in default mode because we're unwilling to change. We're unwilling to take the risk of making a decision that we are afraid might not be the right one. So we stay in that frustration. We stay in that drift. We stay in that phase. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to design the perfect life And you're going to be designing an ideal average day. Now, what is in an ideal average day? The first thing I want you to think about is we oftentimes build these limiting beliefs around what we think we're capable of. We oftentimes build these limiting beliefs around our life because of all the circumstances. It could be how we grew up. It could be the influence of someone in our life and what they told us. It could be a number of different things. It could be something your parents told you. It could be something a friend told you that you're not capable. It could be that maybe your friend group, none of them are big thinkers. So it's putting a lid on your thinking. We need to say, you know what? I get to dream up what I truly want my life to be like, not what I actually know how to make happen. So we need to eliminate how. There's no limitations in this version of your life vision story, no limitations. Okay, no consequences. Meaning, if you make these big changes, just eliminate the thought of a negative consequence of a relationship issue or something like that. Now, I'm not saying you want to step in and ruin a relationship or something bad. I'm just saying when you're dreaming, figure out what you truly, truly want. We're going to make sure it's pure and it's what I call clean fuel, not dirty fuel. And then we're going to ask, okay, no limitations, no consequences. What's the ideal average day look like? Now, if you absolutely love Led Zeppelin, let's say, you're an insane Led Zeppelin fan. I'm not saying your ideal average day is a day with Led Zeppelin, partying all day long, doing whatever Led Zeppelin is doing. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about an ideal average day, the day that if you had to live this day kind of plus or minus, pretty much every day, you'd be like, man, that's a pretty damn good life. Okay, that's what we're talking about. So the principles of a great life vision story. The first thing, we have to suspend disbelief. I want you to once again take those limiting beliefs, take the how, eliminate how from your vocabulary when we're making this vision. Take those and suspend disbelief for a moment and say, if anything were possible, if I could not fail, if I could just dream with no limitations, what would go in this? We want it to be light. We want it to be exciting. This should be the most exciting damn story you read all year. This thing should be so vivid in your mind. It's a movie that you can just play over and over and over again because of step 2 that we're going to talk about here in a bit. You need this to be vivid to make step 2 work. Step 2 of the 3 to make this transformation in 1 year. Okay. No timelines. We're not putting dates in this at all. It's the ideal average day, and we're not going to put any timelines on it. I used to put timelines on this. When I did, it actually would put me in a mind space of thinking I couldn't accomplish that thing for that till that 5-year mark or that 10-year mark. Then I got advice from a buddy of mine, and I said, you know what? I'm going to try that on for a year. I'm going to try on eliminating dates. I tried that on for a year, and it worked way better for me. Okay. So no timelines, no dates. Ideal average day. It's going to be insanely detailed. It's going to be your own voice. Okay. Not a goals or checklist. I was talking with a heavily successful entrepreneur about an hour and a half ago on this topic. And he said he created his first version of a vision about 5 or 6 years ago. He said it was amazing until he hit all of his goals. And he said the problem that happened is once all of the things on that vision happened, he hit those goals, he achieved those things, the motivation went away, the momentum went away, the joy went away, the just the hunger for growth, the hunger for life went away. And that's because as entrepreneurs, we oftentimes feel the most joy, we feel the most contribution, we feel the most energy when we're in momentum, when we're going and moving towards something, when we're growing. And it doesn't always have to be revenue. In fact, I would argue most of the time it's not going to be revenue related. Most of the time it's going to be momentum on the fitness side or some other one of those 6 F's. Okay. And we're going to make it insanely detailed and vivid. So a question that comes for you, or a statement here for you. A great vision, a great life vision story gives clarity to who you've become, not what you've done, accumulated, or accomplished. Now, in my life vision story, I'm going to share a little bit with you today. I do have some accomplishments in there. I'll give you an example. In my life vision story, when I walk into my office in an ideal average day, well, on my bookshelf around me are multiple best-selling books that have impacted millions of people. Where in my vision, I'm like, man, I want to impact so many people with these messages right here. I want way more people to enjoy their work, enjoy their life, and really step into life with zest and just with energy and freedom. So you can put those things down there. But the challenge is we want to eliminate ego. We want to eliminate fear. We want to eliminate all of the things that I would call dirty fuel from that vision. Okay. So this is not about things. It's not about collecting accolades, goals. I don't even have any numbers, any revenue numbers in my life vision anymore. I used to. Part of that felt heavy. Now it feels light that I removed them because it doesn't matter what the revenue number is. What we do is we look at the life vision story to say, this is the life that I want to live. This is what the ideal average day looks like. This is the identity of the person that I must be to be that. And then I ask the question, great, what type of business do I need to build, and how big does the business build to fuel that? I bring that into my business vision now. That doesn't sit in my life vision. Okay. So as we're walking through creating that life vision story, now I'm going to blow through this because I'm going to give you my Chat GPT prompt. I should have told you at the start. It's not even a prompt. It's a full Chat GPT model that you can go and have fully programmed. It's got my life vision story in it. It's got several others. It's got all of the guidelines, all of the directions from this entire training built inside of it. You click a button, you answer some questions. It's going to write your life vision story for you, and it's amazing. Okay. But the things that should be in that life vision story, once again, it's a story. If you think about the movies or the books that resonated with you the most, that you love the most, you love them because it was a story. Not because it was a bunch of bullet points, or not because it was a vision board with some pictures and it was a poster of a movie. No, vision boards are just posters of movies. A vision board is just a poster of your life vision. We want the story, we want the emotion of your life vision story, not just a poster of it. Okay. And so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to grab a pen and pad, or use the custom GPT model that we're going to be linking up in the description box below. Just go click that button. It's going to go to I call it the Purpose OS Life Vision Story Creator. And it's got this entire thing already baked into it for you. Okay. I use that with my private coaching clients that are paying anywhere between $12,000 and almost $100,000 a year. I work with them to get their life vision story in place based off of my model. And they're the ones who have access to this before I'm recording this video. I want to get it out so more people can have a vision that they believe in. So you're going to start at the start of the day, insanely detailed. You're going to write down the moment you wake up. What time is it? What do you see in the room? Who's in there with you? What does the room look like? Is there a window? What's outside of the window? What is it that you're around? Is there a view out there? Do you when you get up, where do you go? Do you go to the kitchen? What's the kitchen look like? What are you eating for breakfast? Who's out there? What conversations are you having? What are you thinking about? Okay, what does it feel like in there? After breakfast, what do you do? Do you go read? Do you have a morning routine? Write what that is. Write what that is in vivid detail. Write how you're feeling. Where are you in the room? What does it look like? What does it feel like? What are you putting on that journal if you're journaling? What are you meditating about if you're meditating in that moment? Okay. After that, do you work out? If so, where? Do you drive to the gym? If so, what do you drive in? Where do you go? What's the gym look like? Who's there with you? Do you walk to the gym? Is it in your house? Same questions. What's it look like? What types of exercises do you do? Who's there with you? What do you feel like? What do you look like? And we're going to do this all the way through the entire day. What time do you go to work? Where do you go? How do you get there? Who's there? What type of work do you do that gives you energy, that makes you fulfilled? Remove all limiting beliefs, guys. Only put the things that you dream that could be the work that you do. If you pull back and go, there's no way that's all that I would do in my work, write it down. Because you don't have to know how to do it. You just have to take the steps towards it, and the how will unveil. If you're a father or a mother, how many of you had 100% confidence on exactly how to be a parent before you had your child? Probably none of us, right? You knew that you had a vision that you wanted to be a parent. You said, I'm going to take the steps to make it happen. I'm going to learn as I go. And I've got the confidence that there's people around me and resources and just my learning that I'm going to figure it out as I go. That's how your life vision should be. We don't have to know the how ahead of time. Okay. We're going to move through the morning. We're going to move to work. We're going to move to, what does your workspace look like? What about midday? What about lunch? What are you eating? Who are you eating with? What are you doing? Then we're going to go to the evening. When do you go home? Who is there? What's it look like? What are you eating for dinner? Who made it? What's on that plate? The whole thing. How do you end your day? How do you wind it down? What time do you go into the bed? What's the bed look like? What is there? What's not there? Are there distractions there that you currently have? Or are they gone? Okay. How are you feeling? What are you thinking? Are you praying? Are you meditating? Are you journaling? What are you writing? What time do you close your eyes and go to sleep? Now, this may sound crazy. This may sound completely crazy. And I'm asking you to do this. But here's the thing. How can you ever expect to get what you want if you don't write down what you want? How do you ever expect to move in the direction that moves you closer and closer to a life that you could only dream of unless you dream of it? Right? We have to dream of it first, put it down, suspend disbelief, pull back for a bit, and then we move into step number 2 of 3 to completely change your life and live your dream life within 12 months. Or we're going to ask the question once we get that life vision story done. We're going to consistently ask the question, why not now? Okay, when I started doing this exercise, even in the past year to year and a half, when I changed my timeline of my vision, why not now popped in my mind. When I had a 5 year, 10 year, 20 year timeline on my vision, I would never ask why not now because I felt, well, I'm on pace. I'm on pace to hit that in 5 years. What I discovered though is many of those things on my 5 year or 10 year or 20 year, I could actually live today. I could live tomorrow. I could live this week, this month. So why should I have to wait for the 5 years when it's possible today? Well, it's just a limiting belief. Let's eliminate those. So I would pull up my life vision story and read parts of it every quarter. Okay. Or if you're in a tough spot and you're struggling and you're just lack of clarity and you're not excited about things, pull up that life vision story and read it and get excited. Ask yourself, does this still resonate? Does this still apply? Does every sentence in this vision story feel light? If it feels light, it's right. If it feels light, it's good. It's like, yeah, that excites me. I love it. Any sentence in that vision story that feels heavy, that's pulling you, that is not right. We need to change that. And if it feels heavy, you have to ask yourself a couple questions. First question, if it feels heavy, is do I actually want this? That's one thing I discovered in my life vision stories. The parts that felt heavy, that big $100 million number that I wrote on that original life vision story, it felt heavy because I'm like, you know what? That number's just a number. I don't really want the number, right? I want the life, and whatever number has to be attached to life is whatever number it is. So what if we remove the number? I don't want the number. Let's remove it. That felt heavy. As soon as I removed the number, it felt light and right. Okay. The next thing is, if you do actually want it, you're like, yeah, I do want that. I genuinely do. I want that type of a house, or I want that type of a spouse, or whatever it is. Then you have to ask your question: why does it feel heavy? We have to say, is it clean fuel or dirty fuel? Okay, clean fuel is pure. Clean fuel is wanting it for the sake of service of others. Clean fuel is really value based, right? It's who you are, who you've become, not what you've accomplished, right? Clean fuel is enduring. It's long lasting. It's something that you can see yourself loving that for a long amount of time. Clean fuel is identity based. Okay, it's man, I have become this person I'm proud of. Dirty fuel in your vision is the opposite. It's ego driven. It's like building yourself up over serving others. It's looking for approval of others. I want to accomplish this so I can finally get approval of others. It's valuing what you do and what you've accomplished versus who you are. And dirty fuel is fleeting. It isn't long lasting. So ask yourself, of that sentence, which one does it match? Is it clean fuel, dirty fuel? If it's dirty fuel, change it until it's light, right, and clean. Okay. So as you're reading through that vision story, every quarter, I'm going to pull it up and I'm going to read parts of it. And I'm going to go, you know what? Man, that morning sounds amazing. Mine's pretty good, but I really actually do want my morning to look like that. And ask the question, why not now? Why can't you change something right now to make that happen? Okay. Look at that evening one quarter. Go, you know what? Yeah, I really do want that. That sounds amazing. Why not now? Okay. Look at your business and your job and go, dude, I love the fact that I get to show up to work and coach leaders and create trainings and do this and do this. Why not now? Guys, one of the big why not nows I put in place coming into this year is I looked at my vision story and I go, man, why not now on two big things? On learning how to truly lead leaders well and start to step away and empower an executive. I had an executive, but I wasn't probably empowering that person as well as I would need to accomplish that vision. So I came into the year and said, why not now, right? Why isn't this year the time to experiment to see what I would need to do, and if that person is the right one to to step in and take on more of the company and really run the full thing? Okay, why not now? Another thing that my wife and I looked at as we created our pre-stacked year, which is our exercise we do every year together to kind of plan out the year. And then I work my business stuff in later. We looked at it and said, shoot, last year we just didn't do great with our dates and we didn't do great with our quarterly retreats because of all that was going on with my dad's health and just everything around that. And so we looked at it and we said, why not now? Like, let's get these in place. Let's change the calendar. Okay. And that leads me to the third point of how to change your life and live your dream life within the next 12 months is once you've determined that life vision story that you're excited about and you're proud of, and it's energizing you and it feels light and it's right all the way from the start of the day till the end of the day, and you're picking it up consistently or visualizing it consistently when things are hard. The vision drives every decision. So go to that vision when things are hard, or even when things are great. When you're moving into the next quarter and you want to be more intentional, pick a spot every quarter in that vision. Say, why not now? The third thing is a decision and a calendar change. You now need to make a concerted effort, a real decision, and then a real calendar change to make that why not now happen. Okay, one thing that I did this year coming into the year was I said, hey, I've already got my 3-day week workouts with my buddies in the office gym, 4 of my best friends, amazing dudes, Christian, all business owners, just so much energy. Like that's an amazing force in my life. The next thing was, why can't I bake in more of that fellowship and other things outside of the gym with people I love? So we baked in a Thursday morning activity. It was sauna and cold plunge in the river at one of my buddies' houses for a number of weeks. And now we're moving into a different season where we're likely looking at mountain bike riding and picking that back up again. Because we used to do that every single Tuesday for several months through each year. We're going to revitalize that. Why not now? Decision and a calendar change. I'm going to decide to do it. I'm going to look at my calendar and make a change to support this and move towards that life vision. So guys, what I want you to do is click below if you're watching the YouTube version of this and go in the description. I've got a link to my Purpose OS custom GPT that has this entire process programmed into it with my life vision story programmed into it and many others programmed into it. You can pick your voice. You're going to answer the questions. It might take you about 30 minutes or so, and it's going to write your entire life vision story for you as a start. And it will, even if you want to, create what I call the 5 non-negotiables. What are the 5 daily habits or practices, those non-negotiables that you need to have in place in your life today that are going to get you to that life vision story? Okay, guys, so click that link in the description and check that out. If you're listening to the podcast version, just head over to YouTube, find me. That's Trevor Mauch, M-A-U-C-H. Look up Trevor Mauch, Entrepreneur Freedom Formula. Look up this episode here of how to live your dream life in 12 months or less with 3 quick changes or something like that. Find that one in there and then look in the description for that custom GPT. All right, guys, the question for you is, why not now? Why isn't this year, why isn't right now the time to make a decision to get clear, to make a decision to get excited about life again, or maybe for the first time ever, to make a decision to change the things in life that are holding you back right now, to make a decision to get out of fear, to make a decision to take a chance on yourself, to make a decision to put limiting beliefs aside in this short life that we've got, to make a decision to stop the vice and the drift that's holding you back and step into designing what you truly want and taking a leap of faith that you can actually accomplish it, because I believe you can. All right. Check out the next video on the other side of this one that is actually about the integrated week. Okay, because once you make those decisions and make a calendar change, you then need a path on how to change your calendar. So we have an entire process that I use on creating your dream week that is based off of energy that drives you towards your goals. And check out that entire process in that worksheet in this next video right here. All right, guys, hit subscribe, share this up with somebody if you got value from it. And let me know, hit me in the comments box. I never really know. I know people are watching, but I never really know what you're getting out of it and what are the questions you have. So hopefully this is valuable. Pop in the comments box below if it is and what part of this video was. And I just love to converse with you, hang out with you a little bit, and do life together. All right, we'll talk to you on the next video in the next episode. We'll talk soon.